Hello, I'm Bill LeMay, and thank you for watching Community Matters. We hope you'll continue to watch as we discuss issues facing our community and provide you with the resources and information needed to find solutions. Today we're meeting local authors to discuss their work and the inspirations that bring their work to life. Beth Davis is with us now to discuss what she's been doing locally and the books that you probably see right in front of me. And Beth, it is good to see you. Thank you for taking time for us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I got to first ask, what, New York? Is that the accent?
Oh, yeah, New York, absolutely.
Give us a little background. Yeah,
a little background about me. I'm actually from the Appalachian Hills of Virginia. From a tiny town. I grew up on a farm, and my dad was a coal miner. My mom was a prison guard, so you don't want to mess with her. And
sounds
my brother,
like you have a country song there but go ahead.
Yeah, right. So it is like a country song. It's very Dolly Parton. So my mom was a prison guard. My brother worked on the railroad. So naturally, I wanted to be an artist.
Sure.
Because that makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I've always been kind of, growing up, I was a little different, marched to, beat my own drum. I had bright red hair, I was covered in freckles, plus size, very artistic, and loved to color, draw, paint, that type of thing. So, that isn't always encouraged, especially in a small town. You think artists and not a lot of jobs, not a lot of opportunity for that. So, but I was determined. So I went to put myself through college, went to East Tennessee State University, and I discovered graphic design. So that's where I determined, hey, I could do art, I could be creative, and I could have a career. So that's what I did. I worked for several companies after that doing graphic design.
Well, how did you get into the writing aspects? Because I've always been envious of people who could do that.
Right.
I get writer's block on Twitter. So
right.
So for somebody to put a book together, and especially in your case, children's books, I just find that remarkable. So where did that come from?
Well, last year I was working for a company in Durham, and they actually did corporate-wide downsizing. So me and several other people got laid off, from the job. So when something like that happens, you kind of have to reconfigure what you're doing. What have I been doing? What do I want to do in the future? And I've always been a positive person. I've always kind of, liked to bring joy to people, make people laugh, smile, things like that. So I thought, what more can I do to put more positivity into the world? And better than that, what people could I reach with that, with a project like that, to make them, to positive and encouragement, things like that. And I thought back to my own life and a time in my life that I needed encouragement, that I needed that kind of positivity. And it's when I was a kid. It was when I was growing up. And I felt very different. Sometimes I felt separated from, the rest of the people. And I could have used that representation. I could have, children look for themselves in characters, stories, cartoons, things like that. They want to be represented and feel seen and heard. So I thought, that's perfect. I'm an artist. I love, children and the fun world of that. So I thought, why don't I write and illustrate a children's book series that's very diverse and inclusive and represents those children that don't normally see themselves in books.
Now, it's called, the website, I think, is Super Youneek Beast, you being you.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about your books? It sounds like there's a lot of heart and emotion tied up into this.
Absolutely.
I think they're fabulous. Let's start with your first book.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
Okay, well, actually...
What was the inspiration?
Yeah, so, the first book is Lacinda the Lion, is a super unique beast. I don't know if you can see the resemblance here. I am actually Lacinda the Lion. So this story is based on my own childhood, growing up, being that child that has the bright red hair, the covered in freckles, plus size, kind of larger than life, and people sometimes give you those looks like, I've never seen a lion like that before. So this is, she's making her way through, her childhood, and she goes to school and she discovers all these new things, but she still feels kind of other than, different from the group. So then at the end of the story, the teacher talks about a new word called unique. And she says, if you look close enough, you'll discover that everybody's unique. You know, our skin, our eyes, our hair, everything. We're all unique. There's not one person that's the same as the other. So when Lacinda realizes, that is special, and we should celebrate that, then she just realizes that she is a super unique beast. And that's something that's special.
Happy ending. I love happy endings, but it's also a great message, not only for Lacinda, but for kids in general. Because kids, growing up, I'm sure as you've gone, when I went through life being young, they can be tough on kids that are unique.
Absolutely, and that our society is so diverse now.
Yes.
There's so many people, I hear from parents all the time that their child, is autistic, ADHD, different abilities, things that you don't normally see represented, and they would love to see that. They would love for their child to have that kind of encouragement. The second book, this is Mykal the Monkey, and as you can tell here, he's wearing leg braces or orthotics, and so he moves differently than the other little monkeys. And this is all about him and his dad going on an adventure and discovering treasure, and it's just this little epic tale. And it's all about just celebrating these things that make him unique.
And where do you get the ideas or the inspiration for the stories? Are they coming from you personally?
Yeah.
Your personal life?
Absolutely. I actually, Lacinda is me personally. And then Mykal the Monkey, I have friends that have children with cerebral palsy or spina bifida, things that they have dealt with in their childhood. And, these are complicated things. Say, for example, in Mykal's story, I don't mention these big words like cerebral palsy and spina bifida. That's hard to explain to a child. So what I've done in the story is just said that Mykal has to work harder to move his arms and legs. It's as simple as that, and it gives children an understanding of what that looks like, from another child's perspective.
Now, I know you have, how many books do you have in the series at this point?
I have 3 books.
Okay, what's the third one?
Okay, so the third one, so this is Hanna the Hawk, and what I like to do is take little beasts like a hawk, and what it's known for is, I see like a hawk, right? So what I've done here is made it to where she has glasses and she can't see very well. So this is a story about her and her siblings practicing flying. They live in a little tree house. But Hanna can't go far because she can't see very well. But here's the cool part. She has a little friend here, a little seeing eye chameleon named Camo. And he becomes her guide chameleon, and he helps her fly. So it's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. What about the goals? What do you foresee in the future for the books in the series?
So I want to celebrate, educate, and communicate. See what I did there?
That's very good.
Yeah, I want to celebrate children of all shapes, sizes, abilities, all of it. I want them to feel special exactly the way that they were made, and to feel seen and heard and represented. And then I want to educate all children about these type of experiences that other children have, so they can become aware and appreciate and get to know what that looks like. And then the third thing is to communicate. What I'd love for adults and educators, caregivers to be able to do is to have important conversations with your children about what makes them unique, or even yourself, to kind of trade those stories about what do you think, what's unique about you. Some kids struggle with that, like I did.
Well, for folks watching right now, I know they're saying, well, where do we get the books? What's the best way to do that?
Well, the great part is that all of these books, we have storybooks. We also have coloring and activity books.
Nice.
That
Love
go
those.
with each story. Yeah, we've got one for Hanna, Mykal, and Lacinda. All of these books are available on Amazon to order. There's paperback versions, hardcover editions. I know a lot of schools and libraries may be interested. This is a cool thing to have to share with students. So if they want to order them, they can go through Ingram, which is another online platform for publishing.
All right. Mm-hmm. What a pleasure to meet you. I love what you're doing. I'll have to get some. I have a 7-year-old. She has a lot of questions. I'd rather give her a book.
Yeah, these
That
will
would
help.
work out well.
These will help, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You. And stick around, because when we come back, we have another great author.